Have you ever wondered how just one wrong move in the morning could quietly trigger a chain of problems? Not just for your day, but for your long-term health? Ruth, 72, used to think the dizziness she felt after waking up was nothing more than a temporary head rush. But just seconds later, she collapsed in the bathroom, her head slamming against the edge of the sink. There was no one else at home. Her phone? Left in the kitchen. She lay there, motionless, for over 2 hours until her daughter happened to stop by unannounced. But the most shocking part wasn't the fall. It was what the doctor told her afterward. You had what's called orthostatic hypotension. It happens when you stand up too quickly. It's very common in people over 60, but few actually know about it. Right now, you're probably starting another ordinary morning. But the real question is, are you starting the right way? A lot of people believe that staying healthy in old age comes down to medications or hospital visits. But the truth? It starts with the simplest things. How you get out of bed, the first drink you take, whether or not you pause to take a deep breath before checking your phone. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 seemingly harmless morning habits that could actually be slowly weakening both your body and your mind as you age. This isn't to scare you, but to help you become more aware, more intentional, and ultimately healthier on your own terms. Stick around until the end, because habit number 4 is something almost everyone is doing wrong each morning without even realizing it. So, are you ready to start your morning in a smarter, safer way? Let's begin with the most common and the most dangerous mistake: jumping out of bed too quickly. Ruth, the 72-year-old woman we met earlier, is far from alone. In fact, every year, millions of older adults go through something similar, all because of a seemingly harmless habit: getting out of bed too quickly. After a full night's sleep, our bodies enter a deeply relaxed state. Heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and circulation decreases to conserve energy. That's completely normal. But when you suddenly shift from lying down to standing, without giving your body time to adjust, your blood may not reach your brain fast enough. The result? Dizziness, lightheadedness, or worse, fainting and falling. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a medically recognized condition known as orthostatic hypotension. And according to the American Heart Association, 20 to 30% of people over the age of 60 experience this without even realizing it. I remember visiting Mr. Jack, a longtime friend of my dad's, at his cozy little home in California. When I arrived, he greeted me with a warm smile and said, "Give me a minute, kiddo. I got up too fast this morning and still feel a little dizzy." As it turns out, he had fallen in the bathroom 2 years prior after standing up too quickly right out of bed. Thankfully, it was just a minor scrape, but the experience left him shaken for months. Since then, he made a conscious change. No more rushing through the morning. So, how do you protect yourself with just one simple habit each morning? Here's what Mr. Jack shared with me, and what health experts now widely recommend for anyone over 50. When you first wake up, don't spring out of bed. Stay lying down for 1 to 2 minutes. Let your brain and heart wake up with you. Gently stretch your joints. Flex your feet up and down. Roll your wrists and ankles. These small movements help get the blood flowing again. Sit up slowly. Let your feet touch the floor. Keep your back upright and take a few deep breaths. If you feel steady, only then stand up slowly. Keep something supportive nearby. This would be a bed rail, a sturdy chair, or cane, especially important if you've fallen before. A common mistake people make is thinking, "I'm still healthy. I don't need to worry about that." But even those without a history of low blood pressure can get lightheaded with sudden posture changes, especially in the early morning when the body's still in recovery mode. This isn't just about safety. It's about treating your body with the care and awareness it deserves. After all the years it has carried you, you don't have to change your whole life overnight. But if you start by simply rising more slowly each morning, you're giving yourself a better shot at living longer, stronger, and more independently in your own home. And if you live alone, this small habit might be the thin line between a normal morning and one filled with unexpected danger. Start your day not with speed, but with intention. When you tune into your body's needs, every step you take afterward becomes just a little more grounded, a little more secure. Up next, We'll take a look at another common mistake, one that's often labeled as healthy, but might actually be doing more harm than good: drinking cold water first thing in the morning. Is that really a smart choice? Right after Mr. Jack changed his habit of jumping out of bed, he told me something else. You know what else I gave up? That glass of ice water every morning. I used to think it helped me wake up, but honestly, it was just making my heart work harder. And he was absolutely right. For many people, especially in warmer places like the southern U.S., starting the day with a glass of cold water is a familiar routine. It feels refreshing, invigorating, even. But for aging bodies, that icy shock isn't just a wake-up call. It can be a real strain. When you drink ice water on an empty stomach, especially right after waking up, the cold causes your blood vessels to constrict. That slows down circulation. For younger people, that might not pose a serious issue. But after age 60, our circulatory systems tend to be less efficient and the heart works a bit slower. In that context, cold water becomes an added burden, one your body doesn't need first thing in the morning. A study from the National Institute of Nutrition even showed that drinking very cold water upon waking can slow down digestion, causing bloating, nausea, and that mysterious tight stomach feeling that many can't quite explain. I once met a woman named Cynthia, age 69, at a senior wellness group in Oregon. She shared this with me. I thought I had a chronic stomach issue. Every morning, I'd feel uneasy, slightly nauseous. Later, I found out it was the cold water I was drinking straight from the fridge. When I switched to warm water instead, everything calmed down noticeably. So what's a better choice for those over 50? The answer is simple: a glass of warm water or water at room temperature. You can even add a thin slice of fresh ginger for anti-inflammatory benefits and a warming effect, a little lemon juice to support digestion and gentle detox, a teaspoon of honey if you'd like a natural energy boost. No need to get fancy, just warm enough to comfort, not startle, your system. Why is this important? Because after 7 to 8 hours without food or drink, your body needs to be gently awakened, not shocked. Warm water helps. Improve blood flow, easing the workload on your heart. Kickstart your digestive system without causing muscle contractions. Support your liver and kidneys in flushing out toxins first thing in the morning. A lot of folks think cold water helps burn fat or makes them feel more alert. That might be true in a gym setting. But when your body is still groggy from sleep, and especially if you're over 60, alertness doesn't come from cold. It comes from good circulation and a steady heart rate. So instead of jolting your system with ice, try hugging it awake with a warm drink. It's a small act that says, I deserve to be cared for gently and intentionally. And once you've slowed down your wake-up routine and given your body the right kind of hydration, it's time to think about what comes next. Because what truly fuels your morning isn't just what you drink. It's what you don't skip: breakfast. A habit that sounds simple, but is often overlooked, especially by those who live alone. Let's talk about that next. There's a quote I've always loved: you wouldn't drive your car without fuel, so why do we expect our bodies to run without breakfast? And yet, so many people, especially those over 60, still start their day on empty without even realizing it. Mr. Ray, 74, lives alone in a quiet suburb outside Atlanta. He once told me, I'm used to it. I wake up early, pour a cup of coffee, sit quietly on the porch, not really hungry, so I don't eat. By lunchtime, I feel that gnawing emptiness in my stomach. It sounds peaceful, but a few months later, Ray started feeling lightheaded in the mornings. He began dropping things accidentally, sometimes snapping at people for no reason. His daughter, a nurse, started asking questions about his eating habits and realized her father was living with chronically unstable blood sugar. Skipping breakfast isn't just forgetting to eat. It's placing a silent burden on your entire body. After a full night without food, your body is running on reserves. That might be okay for someone younger, but as we age, muscle mass decreases, metabolism slows, and our ability to regulate blood sugar drops. Skipping breakfast in your 60s and beyond can lead to mild hypoglycemia, fatigue, irritability, rapid heartbeat, brain fog, and short-term memory issues. increased risk of falls due to sudden weakness, and over time, malnutrition, weakened immunity, and muscle loss. Many older adults think, I'm not hungry, so I don't need to eat, or coffee is enough to get me going. But coffee, especially on an empty stomach, only increases your heart rate, acts as a diuretic, and irritates your stomach lining. It doesn't offer the nutrients your body needs to properly wake up. Even worse, grabbing a sugary pastry or slice of white bread on the go. These spike your blood sugar fast and crash it just as quickly. That's why so many people feel their energy plummet by mid-morning. So what does a good breakfast look like after 50? Choose meals that are easy to digest, rich in nutrients, and provide steady energy. Oatmeal cooked with almond or oat milk, topped with walnuts and sliced banana or blueberries. A boiled egg with whole grain toast and a thin slice of avocado. Greek yogurt mixed with granola and fresh fruit. A smoothie made with banana, leafy greens, unsweetened milk, and chia seeds. These meals are simple to prepare, gentle on your stomach, and packed with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Key nutrients that support stable blood sugar, mental clarity, and a longer-lasting sense of fullness. I'll never forget what Mrs. Jean, 70, from Arizona, told me after experiencing 2 minor falls due to low blood pressure. She started setting a morning alarm, not to wake up, but to remind herself to eat. At first it felt like a chore, but now, breakfast feels like a gift. It reminds me that I'm taking care of myself, by choice. Breakfast isn't just about avoiding hunger. It's a quiet act of self-care. What you choose to eat each morning is how you choose to live that day, with strength, intention, and vitality. And once you've gently woken your body with warm water and fueled it with the right kind of nourishment, there's still one more piece of the morning puzzle that's often overlooked. Because it happens in silence. What's going on in your mind each morning? Are you waking up with hope or with worry and a heavy sigh? That's where we're headed next. Have you ever noticed what's the very first feeling you have in the morning? Not hunger, not the sound of birds outside your window, but a quiet thought, often subtle, almost invisible, that surfaces while you're still lying in bed. For some, it's something positive. Looks like a beautiful day. Maybe I'll spend some time in the garden. But for many others, especially those who live alone, it can feel more like emptiness, anxiety, or even a quiet sigh that no one hears. I once spoke with Helen, 76, who lives in Vermont. She told me, I have everything I need. A home, a pension, my health is okay. But still, every morning I wake up with this sense that no one is really waiting for me to start my day. It wasn't that she wasn't grateful. It's just that the loneliness of morning has a way of slipping in quietly and staying longer than we expect. Your morning mindset lays a foundation for your entire day. Studies from the University of California show that cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, peaks within the first 30 minutes of waking. If your day begins in a state of tension, worry, or loneliness, cortisol stays elevated, and over time, that can raise your blood pressure, impair short-term memory, and eventually weaken your immune system. But what do most people do in the morning now? Wake up, grab the phone, scroll through upsetting news or pictures of other people's perfect lives, and quietly think, what am I even doing with my life? And just like that, the day starts heavy. So what's a simple, science-backed way to ease your mind into the day with more peace? Here are a few gentle habits that have helped many older adults start their mornings with more calm and clarity. Don't reach for your phone first thing. Instead, take 3 slow, deep breaths. Then think of one small thing you're grateful for. Sunlight, stillness, a cherished memory. Write down a single morning thought. You don't have to be a poet. Just jot something simple like, today I hope to, or this morning I feel. Play calming music or nature sounds. Search YouTube for birdsong or quiet stream. These sounds naturally relax the nervous system, slow your heart rate, and make you feel safer. One beautiful example is from Mr. Martin, 71. After losing his wife, he spent 3 months in a deep depression, dreading every morning. But then, a friend gave him a simple suggestion. Start your day by saying out loud 3 things you've done that made you proud. One time, he helped a neighbor fix their front door. Another, He drove his daughter to school every day for 10 years. And one more. He survived open heart surgery. Now, every morning, I read my own story back to myself. And slowly, I've started to believe I still matter. Morning isn't just about waking up your body. It's about reconnecting with yourself. Start your day not with the buzz of a phone, but with the voice of your own heart. Speak to yourself gently, kindly. And once your mind has been cared for, there's one last thing to pay attention to. It might seem harmless, maybe even comforting, but over time, it can quietly rob you of your strength, your flexibility, and even your sense of purpose. Up next, we'll explore this final and critical morning warning. Why staying in bed too long after waking up may be weakening your body day by day. There's a quiet irony that many people overlook. The same bed that comforts us at night can become the very thing that quietly holds us back in the morning. I once asked Gloria, a 78-year-old woman living in San Diego, what time she usually got up. She smiled softly and said, "I'm usually awake by 6, but I don't actually get out of bed until almost 9. She paused and added, "In the morning, the bed just feels so warm and cozy. So I lie there a little longer, and before I know it, the whole morning's gone, and I haven't done a thing." The problem isn't laziness. It's how time quietly slips away without us noticing. When you linger in bed too long, it's not just your muscles that go unused. Your mind, too, can sink into a kind of foggy, sluggish state. According to research from Harvard Medical School, older adults who stay in bed long after waking are at higher risk for loss of muscle mass, disruption of the body's internal clock, which leads to poor sleep at night, increased feelings of loneliness and lower motivation to move, and more concerning, mild depression that often goes undetected. Your body is like an engine. It needs to be gently started each morning to run smoothly. If it stays idle too long, day after day, the parts begin to stiffen. The spark fades. But I'm not just lying there. Some say, I scroll my phone, read the news, and that's exactly what keeps many older adults from getting up. Looking at a screen before eating, before moving, just after waking, can strain the eyes, stiffen the neck, and flood your mind with negative headlines at a time when your body isn't ready to deal with any of it. But the solution is much simpler than you think. Here are a few things you can do in just the first 10 minutes after waking. Sit up and make your bed. This simple act signals your brain that rest time is over. It's time to engage with the day. Stand up, open the curtains, and let in natural light. Morning sunlight helps reset your circadian rhythm and boost serotonin, the hormone that lifts your mood and energy. Do something gentle and purposeful. Pour a glass of warm water. Water your plants or play soft music. Anything that gets you up, moving, and feeling alive. Mr. Frederick, 80, lived alone after his wife passed away. He shared that for a while. He wouldn't get out of bed until noon. Everything around me felt frozen. Only when I gave myself a small goal, like a 10-minute walk each morning, did I feel myself slowly coming back to life. Your bed is meant to be a place of rest, not a hiding place from life. Each morning you choose to get out of bed, you're telling the world and yourself, I still want to live this day fully. And now that you've learned about 5 subtle morning habits that could be quietly harming your health, it's time to take a look back, not to blame yourself, but to start fresh beginning tomorrow morning. Let's move into the final part of this journey, a gentle reflection and a warm message to carry with you through the rest of your day. You've just taken a journey, not just through morning habits, but through a gentle, honest conversation with your body and your soul. Together, we looked at the small things that seem minor on the surface, but quietly shape the quality of life after age 50. Getting out of bed too quickly, drinking cold water before your eyes have even fully opened, skipping breakfast or eating something with little nutrition, letting anxious, negative thoughts take over first thing in the morning, staying in bed simply because there doesn't seem to be a reason to get up. Each of these habits, left unchecked, can slowly wear down both your body and your spirit, without you even realizing it. But here's the beautiful part. You can change that starting tomorrow. You don't need to flip your whole life upside down. You don't have to overhaul every habit overnight. All it takes is one small, intentional choice each morning. Sit up a little more slowly. Drink a warm glass of water. Eat a nourishing breakfast. Take one deep breath and tell yourself, today I deserve a good day. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 80, you still have so many mornings left to wake up, to feel, to love, but only if you choose to start each one in the right way. If this video brought you value, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love, a parent, a friend, anyone in your life who's entering the stage and may need a soft, loving reminder. And if you'd like to stay with us on this journey, a journey filled with practical wisdom, heartfelt advice, and the kind of support that speaks to the realities of aging, subscribe to the channel. We're here to remind you, growing older isn't the end. It's a new chapter, one where you have every right to slow down, go deeper, and feel truly fulfilled. Before you go, I have one small question for you. What's one thing you'll choose to change tomorrow morning? Leave a comment below, because what you share today might inspire someone who's still looking for a reason to begin again. Thank you for being here. Wishing you a peaceful morning and a life worth waking up for.